Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy KAIO and I'm back again this time to give you another One Piece video, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys my review of One Piece chapter 1011. I know this video is late, but as they say, better late than never. So what do I want to talk about within this chapter? Well, of course I'm going to talk about the Big Mom stuff because, well, that was, huge. That was madness and it's good, but there are some things that I am worried about. But I will save that for later. And of course, I'm going to talk about Eustass' kid because he's trying to find Big Mom and vice versa. They want to fight. And I do think that will happen, but I will talk about that later on because, when we go further on into Onigashima and, we get to those, respective battles, I can still see that happening. And I want Kid to have that fight. He needs a one-on-one, no questions asked. But before I talk about those, I want to talk about Luffy versus Kaido. I know we only got like a small panel, but it was worth it. And the reason I want to talk about it is because I want to praise Luffy, because usually when Luffy goes into a fight and he's learning something like, against Katakuri here with advanced observational Haki, even though he picked it up, he was still, slowly picking it up. And it did take a while, but eventually he was able to use it properly. And when you look at him now, well, even at the start of Wano, he could use it just like at will. And don't get me wrong, I do like that, and I'm not questioning Luffy like now, but the reason I want to praise him is because he's still using Conquerors Haki. Like, I know we got like a little small clash, but it was cool. So it's nice to see that Luffy, using that Rio training that he had with Hyogoro, and he's able to, imbue his attacks with Conquerors Haki. It's good. So I want to see where this battle goes, and I will make a separate video on this because I want to talk about Luffy and how he's going to use Conquerors Haki with his Devil Fruit abilities, because over the course of the last two chapters, he's only punched and kicked Kaido, and even in this chapter, it was just a basic kick. So I'm very excited to, see how he's going to be using something like Red Rock or Red Hawk or any other new attacks. It's going to be interesting, especially like going forward with Gear 4 and Gear 5. So now let's actually talk about the Eustass Kid stuff. So Kid and Killer, they were going down, trying to find where Big Mom has gone. And then they realise that she's actually back up and that she's charging straight for them. And then Zeus manages to get free. And yeah, I can't wait to talk about the Zeus stuff because it looks like it's playing in towards Nami's hands here. But with Kid and Killer, they do get attacked. But luckily, Big Mom cannot find where Kid and Killer have gone. And when you move a little bit forward on into the chapter, Killer is going to be fighting Hawkins, so I'm fine with that. I didn't think that would actually be possible. I actually thought it would be, Kid and Killer versus Big Mom. Now that Hawkins is coming into it, it looks like Killer's going to be having his final fight with Hawkins for Onigashima. So that's a good matchup, and it's going to be interesting to see how Killer does against Hawkins, because Hawkins is not going to be messing about. He's one of the top dudes, just like Killer, so I'm hoping that Killer will come out on top and, we get to see a nice good fight between them, and then we get to see, Killer being on that same sort of level as Zoro. Not in terms of like abilities or everything like that, but where he's in the same rank as what Zoro is with the Straw Hats. So he's like that with the Kid Pirates. He needs that fight, and I think that Hawkins would be the perfect opponent for him. So I'm going with a Killer victory on that one. So now I'm going to talk about my boy Eustass Kid. He's trying to find Big Mom, vice versa, because Big Mom wants to fight him. And it's going to be an epic fight when it does happen. I'm still on the boat that Kid will fight Big Mom, and he's needing that fight. Because, as I said, like so many times before, Kid has never had a good fight. And when I say good fight, I mean ones that we've read. We've only heard certain things. We've only seen like little small abilities. Yes, we saw him fight Apu, and he pretty much done Apu over. Like, Apu just didn't know what to do at that point. So it's nice to see the Kid had the upper hand against him. But now he's going against Yonko, and I've always said for the longest time, like the past few years, if I was to pick the next lot of Yonko, it would be between Luffy, Kid, Law, possibly Capone, or if Oda's going to stick with the whole females of having like an extra female, then it could be Jory Bonnie. So I could see those guys potentially being the next Yonko. Well, Luffy is confirmed a Yonko already. But this is needed because when you've got Kid who is supposed to technically rival Luffy alongside Law as well, you need to give him a big fight. So Big Mom is the perfect opponent. And they do have some history, not personally with each other. Well, it is now because they're going to be fighting. But when I say personal, Kid did have a fight back on Whole Cake Island when he went there and he defeated one of the Sweet Commanders. So there you go. That's where their battle's gonna, come into it. But of course, Kid is one of the worst generation. And of course, Big Mom's gonna thrive off of that. Vice versa with Kid thinking about the same thing with Big Mom. If I take a Yonko out, there's a bigger rep and he's gonna be confirmed a Yonko next to Luffy. But there's one thing that I'm worried about with this, and that is not necessarily the fight not happening. I think it will still happen after Big Mom has done what she needs to do with Kaido's followers. That includes taking out page 1, which she did using Conquerors Haki. So it's nice to see that Oda's now showing us the Conquerors Haki from the actual Yonko themselves in the fights right now. On page 1 is Sparko. Even Ulti is looking worried. She's standing there shocked, seeing page 1 get taken down by Big Mom, thinking that Big Mom is supposed to be on their side, but she's not. All because of the stuff that happened with Okabore Town and Tama explaining it to her. Don't get me wrong, I'm cool with Big Mom being friendly with Tama because of the whole, the way that she is, when they say like the mother mode that she has. And, Tama did help her out, so that's fine. But before that, it looked like she was actually going to attack Usopp and Nami, and I think she would have. But because of Tama, I don't think that she will. I think she's going to leave him alone because after everything that she's heard, because, she enjoyed the soup and what Suru did and just hearing what Kaido's followers have done, so that includes like Hold'em and everyone else, yeah, she's after him now. But the one thing I'm worried about is Big Mom actually going up to fight Kaido. I don't want that to happen. Do you know what? If you want to fight afterwards, depending on what happens, of course. Like if Kaido is to survive and Eustass Kid doesn't take his head. But just hear me out when I say this. If Big Mom fights Kaido within this arc, it's just going to steal the limelight away from Luffy. Because Luffy is going one-on-one with Kaido. He doesn't want any interruptions or anything like that. And I know it's a long shot because she's fixated on Kaido's followers. So I think she'll just decimate them. And I think Kid will get there in time to stop that fight actually happening. Because it's just going to sort of make it easier for Luffy if Kaido and Big Mom fight. That's why I don't like this at all. Because then you've got the excuse, well, Big Mom helps Luffy out. I don't want that. I want Luffy to keep doing what he's doing, showing Gear 4 and Gear 5 when that drops. Because if he doesn't, then I don't know. Like, Luffy will have a much easier fight because Big Mom will wear Kaido down. But with Kid there, he's going to stop that. So that's why I think that is not going to happen. Because I don't know what I would think of that. I think Wano as an arc, don't get me wrong, overall, it's fantastic. For an end fight, yeah, I wouldn't be happy with that. I think I'd have to mark Wano down a little bit if that actually happened. So, yeah, I don't want that to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Kid and Big Mom will fight. And I think that Kid will probably win. I know that sounds like hard to believe. Kid is strong. He's powerful, yes. But Kid has Conquerors Haki. Is it possible that during this fight, that Kid will learn how to imbue Conquerors Haki in his attacks against Big Mom? Because Big Mom does have the advantage here. She can literally do so much more damage to Kid than what Kid can do to her. But I think Kid is going to be in exactly the same position as Luffy here when he was going up against Katakuri. As the fight progresses, he's going to learn there's Conquerors Haki that I can feel off of this. He knows that he can do that. And I think that Kid is one of those pirates that is smart enough to actually pick up on it. And I think he will. So knowing everything that goes on with the Yonko and everything that they can do, I'm sure that he's witnessed it before with Kaido. So going against Big Mom here, it just makes perfect sense. When do I think we'll get this battle? Probably not next chapter. It could happen towards the end. But I think the chapter afterwards is where we're actually going to see the starting of Kid versus Big Mom. And it's going to go down as an epic fight. I hope that we get to see that just as much as the Luffy fight. Well, I want the Luffy fight to be more, of course, because that is the main fight. But because when you think about Big Mom here, yes, okay, she was the main villain of Whole Cake Island. But because of her involvement within Wano and, joining up with Kaido to be this deadly alliance, well, the deadliest alliance thus far that's going on right now, because their bounties together are higher than Goldie Rogers. That's an accomplishment just combining those two. Like, even the Navy were like, yeah, it's not a good idea. So with her involvement, she technically is the second villain, should I say, of the Wano arc itself. So I think the battle will be up there. I feel like the Straw Hats battles are going to be a little bit less, apart from Zoro, but that's depending on his outcome and when he actually gets back up and when he's fine to, continue fighting. But because I've wanted to see a Kid fight for so long, and, we saw Kid and Luffy both training in the Udon prison, keeping up with one another, actually. I think this is going to be Luffy and Kid's arc to do what they need to do to establish themselves as Yonko. I feel like Luffy's definitely, established himself as a Yonko, but Kid is the next person. Kid is going to be, after this arc, you're going to see in the newspapers, Luffy, Eustass Kid, Kid defeats Big Mom, Luffy defeats Kaido, 2 new faces of the Yonko. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely crazy. And maybe the fact that Kid will defeat Big Mom, then if he does kill Kaido, then there's an extra spot. Then there will be 5 emperors. It's going to go off. It is going to completely go mental. Like this war, after it's finished, then going into the final saga of One Piece, it's going to go off. But yeah, overall, with the Big Mom stuff, I'm cool with her being, fine with Atama because of what Atama did and helped her out and saying thank you and whatever. I just wanted to stay clear of Kaido. I'm hoping, and I do generally believe, that Kid will get there before Big Mom even has a chance. And that's when the fight's going to start. And I can't wait. So yeah, overall, enjoyable chapter. I really liked it. Of course, we are on break. I do have a video that's coming out very, very soon that was supposed to come out before this chapter, but because of moving, I wasn't able to finish it, but it will be out this week. And also, as I said, I want to do another video on Luffy, so that will most likely be out first. So yeah, look forward to those. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to leave it there. If you liked this video, please smash this video with a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen with the Big Mum stuff? And do you see Kid versus Big Mum relatively soon? And I'm talking in the next couple of chapters. Also, make sure to hit the subscribe button. That'd be fantastic. Make sure to smash the notification bell so you guys never ever miss a post. And I'll see you guys for the next video. So until then, see ya.